I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft, and today's question comes to us from Max, who wants to know my thoughts on the literary movement known as Southern Gothic. Now, I was a contemporary of Faulkner's and indeed was aware of his work, and while I found it difficult to connect personally with his characters, I nevertheless was able to recognize his art if, as I put it, I admired him from a distance. What I did connect with was his depictions of backwoods decadence, the decay, the fall from some imagined glory. That was something that, of course, I made use of in many of my own stories that explored what happens out in the wilds when people aren't paying attention. But what I could not connect with was the very specific regionalism that he employed. And indeed, I find it fascinating that the term Southern Gothic was born not out of a sense of self-aggrandizement, but rather as derision. Critics referring to Faulkner and his friends as having aimless violence and fantastic nightmares, which of course I must admit I'm a bit biased towards. When it comes to how literature deals with specific regions, there are, of course, going to be competing factions and motivations. When it comes to the South, which, of course, has a great deal of emotional resonance, and how we mythologize the South and romanticize it has far-reaching social and political ramifications, such a fight was only going to be messy. But nevertheless, since Southern Gothic came into its own, I appreciate how it pushes back against realism, naturalism, and instead explores that which is strange and uncomfortable. It's an area I'm very acquainted with. But I would be remiss if I did not offer up an opportunity to someone whose very lifestyle and aesthetic is, wholly of the Southern Gothic, and so in a spirit of brotherliness, PH, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
All I know is somebody either owes me a check or a keg of mint juleps.
Charming, I'm sure. As always, I'm Howard Phillips Lovecraft. Thank you.